Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very interesting article because we have the Ukrainians crying that the Chinese are helping the Russians militarily. I thought that only we can be having that. Russia cannot, because Russia is isolated and we are not. We are the center of the universe with our 30 other countries, we think. So let's see what happened here. This article comes from Kiev Independent news desk. It comes from a desk. Okay, it was not written on the knees. So we have. I'm guessing that's Wall Street Journal says that China helps Russia's war in Ukraine. Trade data shows. Let's see. February 4th, 2023. China is allegedly providing Russia's army with military means despite sanctions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Wall Street Journal reported. I like the word over there, and we have to point it out that the Kiev Independent is not a weasel. They said allegedly. Right, so allegedly someone said something. Good, all right. But the Wall Street reported it that someone alleged something. Chinese state-owned companies provide Moscow with navigation equipment, jamming technology, and fighter jet parts. Customs records show. Okay. Dual-use equipment that can be used for civilian and military purposes appear to come from China, mainly according to the analysis of over 84,000 shipments. Russia can still import much-needed chips, infrared cameras, and radar equipment from China and other countries that haven't joined the US-led effort to cut off Moscow from global markets through Turkey and the United Arab Emirates, accused by Western officials by bypassing sanctions. So why did the United States get involved in this again? Why the big Superman put his cape and started saving the world and making sure that its interests are defended? Well, I just answered that. So let's move on. In a statement to CNN, the US State Department spokesperson expressed concerns about China's alignment with Russia as Moscow continues its brutal and unlawful invasion of Ukraine. End quote. Hey, wait a second. So, expressed concerns about China's alignment with Russia. They've been aligned for about 15 years, so you're Johnny come lately here. Okay, you just got to this yesterday or something. Anyway, and again, it's the unlawful invasion of Ukraine. I can think of another unlawful bombardment. You remember that one in 1999? It's called Yugoslavia, which was Serbia and I think Montenegro at that time. Remember when NATO, the defensive alliance, bombarded Serbia, Yugoslavia for about 72 days or something? Well, I do remember that. Sorry to mention it, but let's move on. I mean, if we're about to be, honest and, uphold, how do you call that, values and, all these beautiful words, then let's mention reality. The statement came after Russian and Chinese leaders Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping held a phone call on December 30th. All right, and I'm quoting, Beijing claims to be neutral, but its behavior makes clear it is still investing in close ties to Russia. You bet your ass they do. The spokesperson told CNN, adding that, and I'm quoting, those that side with Moscow in this unjust war will inevitably find themselves on the wrong side of history. Well, I think they're not very concerned with that one and your interpretation of reality. Maybe their interpretation of reality is different. Did you take that into consideration? Maybe everything you said over there, they see it differently. For instance, when you say that when you say over there that in this unjust war, maybe some other countries might have, a little bit nuanced view on your definite word use over there, term, unjust war. Anyway, the same as unprovoked. Okay, well, unprovoked, but why do other countries see it differently? And they think that maybe, it's more to that. Why everyone, all of a sudden, they don't like diversity of thought? Well, because the truth is only one. In this case, you are the holder of the truth? Okay. Well, then let everybody talk. Freedom of speech, no? The spokesperson said that the US and the EU had warned China. EU. EU should just take care of its own problems, but EU is just dragged by US because it's under the US total control. In foreign policy, militarily, economically, pretty soon. So both these, 30 countries warned 30 out of 193, I mind you, okay? So this planet has 193 plus minus 1 at times. And then you have US and the EU, plus Australia, Japan, South Korea, and New Zealand, and that's about it. Maybe another one or two weasels. So you get about 50, let's say. 50 out of 193 is still as Trudeau said, a fringe minority with unacceptable views. Remember that one? Anyway, so here the same. Don't pretend that you are the absolute holder of the truth. I know you have that impression of yourself because you have a narcissistic worldview through the eyes of a narcissistic entity where you think you're the best and you are all that matters in this world. The rest of 130 countries that they don't matter. Actually more, 43 if I take out of 50, right? Anyway, it's just, but they think they matter more than everybody else. So is that a kind of like a supremacist thing to think that way? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. And the wrong side of history, according to you, of course, right? So yeah, according to you, the wrong side of history. According to them, you are on the wrong side of history. The spokesperson, look how weasel, the spokesperson, like we don't know what they are, what that person is. But anyway, said that the US and the EU had warned China of the consequences of providing Russia with military assistance for its war against Ukraine or systematic assistance with sanctions evasion. Well, who are you to say that? Who are you? I don't understand who are you to. You impose sanctions and you expect everybody else to agree with your sanctions. Why don't you agree with their point of view? Because you think you hold the truth. Nothing but the truth. On December 30th, Xi told Putin that China is ready to, and I'm quoting, increase political cooperation, and quote, with Russia to be global partners. Yeah, that's the second club that I've been talking about for about, 11 months, that has been forming for some time and right now is in last sprint to achieve the goal with all the countries from BRICS and others. On December 22nd, China's and Russia's naval forces engaged in joint military drills in the East China Sea, the latest in a series of exercises that showcase the deepening defense ties between the two countries. Where the hell have you been? They've been deepening their little defense capabilities or armies for about what? At least 10 years? And you come now and say, well, you know what, guys, I got some news. The Russians and the Chinese are conducting joint military drills, man. Oh my God, this is the first time. No, actually, they did this for the past, 12 years. I just found out. That's how they act. And they are, or at least they act like that, giving us the impression that they act like that. But that's not a good view. It's not a good take on that. Because if I look at them, I say, well, you don't know shit, as I know they don't. And, they pretend to be the smartest of the smartest. Remember? Delusional people. And then deepening their political, alliance or global. They've been into this. Now they just, close ranks. That's what it is right now. They say, Gigi, present, Michael, here, okay, Tom, coming. That's what they do right now. They know one another by name, and they just call them. Brazil, pam. South Africa, pam. Iran, pam. Argentina, I don't know if I say Brazil, but anyway, China, oh, India, hello. South America, countries from South America, Brazil, as I said, Argentina, Nicaragua, Cuba, and others, Chile, not to mention many more. They're coming to the call. They're answering. They're getting them closing in, and then they'll say, "Well, we're at least 50 as you are. So now what? We're gonna have separate institutions, separate rules." And when we bang by mistake, we're gonna blow up the world. Yeah. So interesting article. That's interesting article. That's what happens. China will help Russia more and more and more because China knows that if Russia falls, they are next. With Russia still standing, China could resist any pressure from outside. Right now, if Russia falls, it's going to be harder. Why? Because if Russia falls, guess where China is getting its resources? Most of them, or big chunk of them, from Russia. So if these guys grab the Russian resources, they're going to give China whenever they want, how much they want. So China is going to be grabbed by the two balls playing with them. Cling, 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 cling. Yeah, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Yes, China is helping.